for me, my pre-season structure, the way I look at it, it's preparing me for the start of the season. So it's basically the groundwork that you use. So with your drills or your fitness and everything like that, it all needs to be in place and complete by the first game. So you can just push it aside. It's all done with. You can trust that you've completed it all well and you're ready to go. Basically, in the pre-season, I use a bit of an overview / critique of my previous season. So, for example, this year I'm working on a few more sort of pull shots. So I sat down with the coach, a couple of my friends, Jared, and a couple of teammates, and worked out what's a little bit of a weakness in my game. I thought, okay, well, short ball's probably a bit of a weakness, so that's something I'm going to really try and nail. So I got probably 2 or 3 sort of things that I'm looking to work on, and then I concentrate on them for the whole time. I'm a big believer there's no point in having 20 or 30 different things that you're trying to work on because it's just too hard. No one can really work on that many things and perfect them or get a lot of improvement with them. So just basically keep it simple, I think. I also have here that it's also important to continue to build your strengths. So whatever, if you're good at a cover drive or a pull shot or something like that, make sure you actually keep working on that as well, because you don't want them to become a weakness later on. My weekly preparation and training workload. At the start of the week, sort of Sunday night or a Monday, I sort of sit down, well, I'm usually lying in bed Monday morning, think about what I'm going to do this week. So I lie there and think, okay, what sort of 2 or 3 things am I going to work on this week? Whether it's going to be, I want to work on my fielding a bit more, my batting a bit more, my bowling, or I want to do a few more extra sort of fielding sessions. I think the workload is important. Sometimes a lot of batters, in particular, go and hit 20 buckets of balls, and they hit the first 2 buckets really well, and then the next sort of 3 to 20, they just get lazy, get into bad habits. So it's hard to find the balance between your workload, but at this stage now I just know when I'm done. I can either hit 10 balls and be finished, or I need to work in 3 buckets and still keep going. So you sort of, I suppose, it's important to hit a lot of balls early in your career. Guys like Jimmy Maher and Matthew Hayden would have hit thousands and thousands of balls per week. But in Jimmy's last couple of years, I noticed that he probably would only have like a 5 or 10 minute net, maybe once or twice a week, and that's all he hit. That's all he'd do, because he's done all the work early. In my batting pre-season, I'll probably hit balls 4 to 5 times a week. That includes bowling machine, nets, throwdowns, basing spin, just sort of trying to cover all sort of areas. That probably involves, sometimes, as I said, sometimes it involves 2 hours of hitting balls, sometimes it could be 20 minutes, sometimes it could be 10 balls. So on our strength and conditioning sort of side of things now, a bit different to what Sol used to do. We're lucky now, I suppose, that we've got, and also at the Bulls, that we have a trainer who sets out our weights program, our strength and conditioning and all that sort of stuff. Having said that, we all do extra work as well. I don't recommend going to America for a month, but definitely you do what they could set out for you to do, but if you can get an extra 20-minute run somewhere or do 100 push-ups, any extra work that you do, the next person might not be doing. The guy from the other team, the other state, the other country might not be doing. So you're leapfrogging them and sort of working harder than them. So the harder you work, obviously, the better it is for you, yourself, and the team. With our strength conditioning, we do probably 3 or 4 weight sessions a week. We do a really hard cardio session on a Wednesday. It's usually about an hour and 20 minutes long, and it involves anything from hills, 1K time trials, swimming, anything really, anything the coach decides to do. And then on a Friday we have a bit of a fun day. We have games, so we play touch footy or offside touch, or we played lacrosse the other day. So it's sort of a bit of a reward, but while we're doing that, we're still running hard and doing our fitness. And the link for me, the link between the strength conditioning and the batting is, the goal of a batter is to bat for as long as they can. The longer you bat, the more runs you score. So if you're fitter, then obviously you're going to be out there batting for a bit longer, because your body's going to be used to it. You're not going to get tired after an hour or 2 hours. You want to bat for 6 hours. My match day preparation / processes. All of my match day preparations are done through the week. So from the time I wake up on Monday, I'm preparing for a game on Saturday. I don't just train the whole week for no reason. I've actually got a purpose the whole week. So when I turn up on Saturday, I know that I can just go out in the field. When I'm into bat, I can just walk out there knowing that I've done everything that I can to succeed on that day. So all my fitness, my hitting balls and everything contributes to how I do on that Saturday. So I want to make sure that I won't walk out there thinking, hold on, I wish I'd done an extra 2 training sessions. I need to walk out in that field thinking, what I'm going to do now, let's go out there and bat. Watch that little red ball hit. The morning of the game, for me, is not so much important as it is for probably say Hearts. I'm not a very structured sort of person, so I just go on a bit of a feel on how I'm doing. So I don't have a set time I wake up, I don't have a set breakfast, I don't have set clothes or anything that I choose to wear. I basically just get out of bed when I feel like it, have something to eat, no matter what it is, and then get to the game on time. Whereas I suppose Hearts will probably almost wake up at a certain time, probably have the same thing for breakfast, make sure his kicks packed the whole way, the same way each time. So everyone's going to be different in what you do. I suppose with batting's, while cricket's a team game, all players are pretty individual with it, but batting, everyone's going to take it in a different sort of way. There's no right or wrong way, you just got to find a way that works for you guys. Just a little thing there I had for match day and process as well. It's important to, on game day, do the right things for your team as well. As I said, it's individual, but turning up on time, making sure you've done the right things in terms of preparation for the week, done all your training and everything. You don't want to let your team down. So just making sure that you're pretty much on time and helping out other people if they need throwdowns for the game or anything like that. Move on to fielding. As Solly said, fielding's an important part to anyone's game. The way I sort of see fielding is that if it comes down to 2 guys in selections, especially at the like first grade or a bit higher, if 2 guys are equal in batting or bowling and one person's a better fielder, it's not brain surgery, rocket science who you're going to sort of go for. So I'd always pick the better fielder if the batters are equal. So it's important that everyone keeps training really hard with their fielding. Work out where you like to field and concentrate on that a lot, but also don't be afraid to practice other spots. If you're an opening bowler and you field a fine leg or mid off most of the time, don't be afraid to get in there and have a go at doing the slips, because Scotty Walter, he's an opening bowler and he's a really good slip fielder, so there's no harm in bowling your over and going camp in the first slip. With the goal setting and the sort of the mental approach to training in the match day, it's not an easy thing to do, goal setting. When you're setting your goals, I like to use sort of short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals for me sort of include short-term goals are an avenue really to achieve your long-term goal. So short-term goals for me are always simple and realistic, whether it be I want to score 500 runs in a Shield season or 400 runs in a one-day season or whatever. It's important that they actually challenge you as well. So you don't want to set anything that's too easy. You don't want to say, okay, I want to score 50 runs for the season in 20 bats, because that's pretty easy. So you want to have something that's going to challenge you as well as something realistic, something that you can achieve. And then if you achieve it, if I've scored 500 runs in 6 or 7 games, I can sit back and go, right, I'm going to score another 400 runs in the next 3 games. You can always reassess them. So the short-term goal for me, obviously, as I said, is scoring runs for the season or that day or whatever, but that all contributes to my long-term goal of playing for Australia. We've got a thing at the Bulls, I think it's, if you're not valuable enough, no, if you're, ask me to play for Australia. You got to, they don't want anyone in the team that doesn't want to play for Australia, really. So you've got to be pushing yourself and have that goal to play for Australia, so therefore you're improving as a player each time. What just happened the ball before, or what happened at home, or what happens in the nets during the week. As I said, your whole week is preparation for the game. Once that's all done, you just got to brush it all aside and go out there and play. So a little thing that I do when I'm scoring runs and doing quite well, after I play a shot or let one go or whatever, I usually just walk away, just square leg a little bit, clear my mind. If I find a little rock, practice a putt or just whack the rock away somewhere. That's something that I use. And then my goal there is to get everything out of my head. So I'm pretty much walk away, hit the rock. When the bowler turns around again, I'm just back, and there's nothing else in my mind. I suppose as I'm scoring runs and been batting for a while, things can change a bit. You're probably thinking a bit more aggressively about where you want to maybe hit the ball next time. Without premeditating, you'd probably be a bit more attacking, so you can think about, if the ball's here, I can hit it here and that sort of thing. Especially in one day, I suppose that's important. But 4 days, I think it's just keep it really simple and just hit that little red ball.
What about when you're batting and the state of the game means that you really have to be scoring quickly, and you go out and you're not hitting it in the middle of the bat? How do you address that?
Pretty similar. I've just got to go back to my same things again. I usually would have to just walk away and just go, right, and start again. That's all finished. Doesn't matter that I inside edge the ball to mid wicket when I try to hit it through covers or whatever. That's finished. I can't do anything about that. So I just try and clear, as I said, just clear everything out of my head and just start again. Just stick to what I normally do, which is trying to hit the ball hard.